Hi friends, welcome back. Now let's get into another important function or a signal, the unit step function. It's a quite popular signal in signals and systems. It is equivalent to output of a circuit having a switch and a DC source of 1 volt. The switch will be open till the time is 0. That means no current will be flowing, no connection, and hence the output remains 0. And at exactly t equal to 0, the switch is closed. So from t equal to 0 onwards, the output is 1. So till t equal to 0, output is 0, and after t equal to 0 and onwards, it is equal to 1. So at exactly at 0, there is sudden transition from 0 to 1, and that's what a unit step function is. And whenever we are trying to use a switching action, then it is always beneficial to use this unit step function to represent the switching action. So the unit step function is defined as the value will be 1 as long as t is greater than or equal to 0, and the value of t will be 0 if t is less than 0. That means as long as t is negative, the value is 0. Exactly at t equal to 0, the value becomes 1, and it continues to remain 1 forever till infinity. So that's a unit step function. So this is equivalent to saying switch is open in negative part of the time. Exactly at t equal to 0, the switch is closed, and hence the current starts flowing. So that's a most common application of any unit step function. So this is represented as a signal switching on at t equal to 0, and the derivative of this, if you just look carefully, the value is constant to 0 for all time negatives, and it is constant to 1 for all positive time. That means the derivative for all negative time is 0 because it is constant, and the derivative for all time positive again is 0 because it is constant. But only at t equal to 0, there is a sudden change, and this sudden change will give us an impulse. So derivative of a step function will give a unit impulse function, and the integration of the step function will be a ramp function. So these are the commonly used operations. So one is a switch, that is represented by unit step function, and then this switching action, if it is related with a derivative circuitry or a derivative system, then the response would be an impulse, and if the system is of integrating type, then the response would be a ramp. So that's very widely used in system excitation. So whenever we are trying to excite system or give input to system, the most common input given to any system is a unit step function, because it just resembles what a switching action is. The next important function is what we call Signum function, and it is defined just one step ahead. For all positive time, the value is +1. For all negative time, the value is -1, and only at t equal to 0, the value is 0. So it looks something like this. So for all positive values of time, it will be 1. For all negative values of time, it will be -1, and only at 0 there is sudden transition from -1 to +1. And this represents polarity of a signal. So for positive time we get a positive value, for a negative time we get a negative value. So just looking at the sign of the signal, we can identify whether the time is positive or time is negative. And this can be computed using this formula 2 times u of t minus 1. So if you just say u of t is 1 from t equal to 0 onwards, the positive direction, now 2 times that will be, the value will be 2 from 0 onwards, and it will be 0 from minus infinity to 0. The value of u of 2u of t will be 0, and the value of 2u of t will be 2 from 0 till plus infinity. And if from that if we subtract 1, then 0 minus 1 everywhere we get a minus 1, and 2 minus 1 we get a plus 1. Therefore it is same as our signum function, and this is very much useful in modeling the symmetric signals. So if we are trying to model a symmetric signal, that is for positive we want a positive value, or negative we want a negative value, or vice versa, at that time we would like to use a signum function. So in all different types of functions we had seen, it can be exponential function, it can be impulse function, it can be sinusoidal function, it can be a step function, or it can be a signum function. So these are considered to be some standards. So for these standards, if we start working on the behavior of the system for these standard signals, then we can some way talk about the signal in a quantitative way. If we apply some known form of the signal, like one of these 5 signals, and if we can talk what the output would be like, then we can qualitatively as well quantitatively describe the system. So this can help us in understanding the behavior of the system, and then through that we can manipulate, and we can make use of all these informations to create a system which will provide us the required output, or we want a system to behave like our wish, then how that system to be built and all that. So all this can be taken up once we understand the behavior of system for this standard input signal. So in all we have 5 standard inputs: 1 exponential, sinusoidal, impulse, step, and signum. So these 5 standard signals are most oftenly used in our next journey through the signals and systems. So see you in the next episodes, and see how these signals are useful for us to evaluate, understand, and then design any system. So that's it for now. Thank you.